authorities have imposed an indefinite curfew as protesters clash with police and Awami League supporters. The latest round of tension comes as student leaders have declared a campaign of civil disobedience against the government. Mobile internet services have been suspended in response to escalating unrest. The violence began early Sunday morning as protesters, part of a non-cooperation movement, took to the streets. They chanted anti-government slogans and demanded the resignation of Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina. In response, supporters of the ruling party confronted them.
আমাদের দাবি এক দফা এক শেখ হাসিনার পদত্যাগ আমরা সে ভেবেছে আমাদেরকে শিক্ষা প্রতিষ্ঠান বন্ধ করলে আমাদের আটকে রাখতে পারবে আমাদের আটকে রাখা যাবে না আমার ভাই রক্ত রাস্তার মধ্যে এখনো পড়ে আছে রক্তের দাগ শুকায় নাই এই জন্য আমরা রাজপথ ছাড়ছি না যতক্ষণ তার পদত্যাগ হয়
এই বাংলাদেশ আজকের এই সিচুয়েশন এই হত্যাযজ্ঞ এটা আপনাদের কারণে এবং আপনাদের ব্যর্থতার কারণে এটা আপনারাই করতেছেন আপনারা যদি সঠিক বিচারটা করতেন শুরু থেকে যদি এটা মেনে নিতেন তাহলে এত কিছু কোনোদিন হইতো না
The current protests are a continuation of last month's anti-quota demonstrations. Initially sparked by students demanding an end to the quota system for government jobs, the unrest has grown into a broader political crisis. Prime Minister Hasina has labelled the protesters as criminals and has instructed the police to use forces to suppress the unrest. The violence has led to widespread vandalism. Buses and ambulances have been set ablaze, and the Hasina government has responded by shutting down major social media platforms, including Facebook, Messenger, WhatsApp, and Instagram. Mobile operators have also been ordered to disable 4G services. The Indian Embassy in Dhaka has issued a warning for Indian nationals to remain vigilant. As the protests continue to intensify, all eyes are on Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina and her government. The question remains whether they will be able to quell the unrest or if they will concede to the protesters' demands. For now, the situation in Bangladesh remains volatile. With Disha Bagchi, Bureau Report, NDTV.
And well, I'm being joined by two senior journalists, Shamil Datta, Executive Editor of Bhorer Kagoj, and also Wahid Farooqi, Editor of BD Views Media, both senior journalists from Bangladesh. Thanks very much, gentlemen, for being with us. Going across to you first. Wahid Saab, what is the situation on the ground as we speak? Because the protests only seem to be intensifying and the differences between the protesters and the ruling party seem irreconcilable. Wahid Farooqi, if you can hear me. All right, we seem to have an audio issue there with Wahid Farooqi, but Shamil Datta, if you'd like to take that question, because, what is the road ahead? There seems to be this deadlock that has lasted for days on end now.
Yeah, the thing is that from tomorrow it has turned into a different struggle since the students' leaders are demanding the resignation of the Prime Minister, and they have declared one-point program that Dhaka March tomorrow. In the meantime, today we already, as my correspondents from across the country, they are saying that death toll will cross 100. Actually, right now, in my paper, I'm giving the figure is 97, but there are some other still in the treatment for several hospitals, especially some police officials who actually killed in a police station attack in Pabna district of northern area of Bangladesh. Today, this is one of the most biggest day because a lot of people killed and most of them are ruling party leaders and the police. We start from a very small issue of reform of the quota, but now is came into one-point demand of resignation of the Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina.
That's right. And also, Shamil Datta, just looking at how these protests have panned out, in the past couple of weeks, while of course it began with that anti-reservation stir, but it has spiraled into a wider movement in a sense, because many other grievances have also sort of been voiced in the course of the past couple of weeks when we've seen violence and protests across the country. So there is a larger state of sort of discontent among people.
Actually, it start from the 1st of July when there was a High Court verdict of cancelling the quota, and you know that it was initially it was a very peaceful agitation from July 1st to July 13. Every day, student protest, and it was very peaceful. All the television broadcast is live, but from 13, it has become more actually. There are a lot of agitations are volatile and it's became very critical also to the government. But initially it was not like that. And the government and some also police officials are saying that some BNP, Jamaat and Islami Chhatra Shibir, is the student wing of Jamaat Islami, they are already penetrating this agitation program. And
So
on
that's an important point
from
you're making.
16
Do you
July,
also say
there
that
is a
there are
huge
groups with
vandalism.
vested interests? Because if that is
Yeah,
the
vested
case,
interest.
then that of course becomes a larger law and order issue as well. Are there groups with vested interests part of these demonstrations as well?
Of course, because the normal student, what I believe that they are not in this vandalization program. Today, the nature of the violence is very critical, and it's attacking police station. As I feel that it's almost 39 police station has been attacked,
Okay.
14 police people already died,
Right.
and several are in the hospital. It could be the death toll will cross 100 by tonight.
Yes, and that is extremely concerning because we saw hundreds die in the protests earlier as well. In fact, Wahid Farooqi is also with us. He is an editor with BD Views Media. Wahid bhai, what do you think of the way forward? Because there has been this sort of logjam or deadlock between the ruling party and the protesters there, and now it's sort of become a wider movement. Many grievances have now been voiced in these demonstrations that are turning violent by the minute. What is the way forward now?
Thank you, chance me to join this program. I give you a small scenario. This was a peaceful movement, and the journalist students are carrying out the movement for the reforming of the quota system. But the movement got a new shape when, as the ministers and the ruling party leaders made provocative remarks against the students and also engaged the ruling party's student wing to suppress the movement. In the mid-July massacre, the law enforcers and the ruling party cadres killed more than 250 students nationwide. It's an unverified figure as the authorities did not disclose the list of the victims in details. But the public perception is the number of the casualties are higher than the statistics. Chhatra League carried out arms attack across the country on the peaceful movement, which has been participated by the people, all works, including students, teachers, and parents. The countrymen have come to streets to protest against the government's massacres, mass arrested, and issues of false cases. To the latest, a total 85 people have been killed across the country today, including 6 people in Norshindi, 7 killed in Feni, 22 people in Shirazganj, including 13 policemen, 4 people in Kisharganj, 6 people in capital Dhaka, 4 people in Bogra, 4 people in Munshiganj, 4 people in Magra, 3 people in Bhola, 5 people in Rampur. 3 people are killed in Patna, 4 people in Sylhet, and
Yes.
3 people include policeman in Kumilla,
So,
1 person in
so the
Jaipur,
death toll
3
is
people
likely to
in
cross
Bhola.
100 is what the sense is. But also,
Yeah.
Vatsap, the fact is that people, this government has lost the popular support. There seems to be a breakdown of trust in this government. So what do we do going forward from here? Because, people can't just keep dying and these protests are only getting out of hand.
I don't know what is the situation come to next, and I don't know. I really don't know how it's end. The students, this movement is actually a students movement, but now it's a people's movement. So
Right.
I don't know what is the next.
Okay. Thanks very much, gentlemen, for being with us. The situation in Bangladesh seems to be worsening as mobilizations across the country continue, and hundreds are expected to die. Also, unfortunately, of course, nearly 97 people have died, is what some of the media is reporting locally. But as the gentlemen are pointing out,
Can I
death toll
add
is
only
expected
one
to cross
line?
100. That's right. Thanks very much for being with us.